The issue of 457 visas for foreign workers was a hot political topic earlier this year, but dropped out of the spotlight during the campaign. But now a new report by a Macquarie University sociologist has uncovered serious abuses of employment rights among Indian workers brought to Australia under the scheme, and mostly by employers of the same ethnic background. And it isn't just Indian workers being exploited, as our business reporter Michael Janda has found in this exclusive report.
They're called the king of visas by some migration agents, but Nguyen Quoc Yong's 457 visa made him more pauper than Prince.
Agents told me that I could earn $50,000 per year, but actually it's just $15 per hour.
As a casual, that put Yung's pay clearly below the minimum wage. And the Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry's Jenny Lambert says it also breaches 457 visa requirements.
The minimum pay per annum for someone under a 457 is $53,000, and they must meet the requirements of Australian law in relation to wages and conditions.
But not only was Dung underpaid, he was placed in a job that didn't even utilise the skills which made him eligible for a 457 visa in the first place.
I have a certificate of chef, and so I thought I can work as a chef, but actually I was kind of cleaner.
After about 5 months of part-time cleaning, Dung finally got some time in the kitchen, but when he asked for his pay to go up, he was shown the door.
He said to me that when I learn many jobs and when I'm skilled, I could ask pay rise, so I did that, but they fired me.
And for all this, Dung paid a premium to his migration agent.
First, when I get visa, I pay $10,000, and then when I get a job, I have to pay more $10,000.
Dung found his agent through ads on Vietnamese radio and in community newspapers in Sydney. And research just published in the Economic and Labour Relations Review finds that foreign workers employed by other members of the same ethnic community are the most vulnerable to exploitation. The research by Dr. Selvaraj Velayutham involved interviews of around 40 457 visa holders from India over a 3-year period. And while many were broadly satisfied with their experience, especially in the IT sector, the research also found serious workplace rights abuses, especially in the hospitality industry.
All restaurant workers we spoke to worked long hours, typically 15 or more hours a day, 7 days a week. Few had time off, other than short periods between the lunch and dinner meal shifts.
The research found some employees working twice as many hours as promised in their original contract for no extra pay. Jennifer Byrne is the Director of Anti-Slavery Australia at UTS. She says the Australian Institute of Criminology has identified hospitality as a particular problem area for worker exploitation. And new federal laws have been created to outlaw some of the worst practices.
This amendment will criminalise forced labour in Australia, deceptive recruitment, and also debt bondage.
But Jenny Lambert says the Immigration Department needs to increase its enforcement activities because dodgy employers are undermining the whole 457 visa scheme.
In the small number of cases where employers are doing the wrong thing, the employer groups such as the ACCI would very much support increased enforcement, particularly in relation to these more serious 457 visa abuses. If an academic based in Macquarie University can go out and find these cases, why can't the Department of Immigration?
The Immigration Department's own figures show accommodation and food services are the fastest growing area for 457 visas, with the number of visa holders doubling over the past year. The Transport Workers Union has been helping Dung, and its National Secretary Tony Sheldon is disturbed by the surge in 457 visas for hospitality jobs.
The Bureau of Statistics tells them that spending in hotels and restaurants has actually fallen in the last year, but we've seen a substantive increase of hundreds of additional visas, supposedly as chefs, coming into the country every month. You know, that doesn't equate unless you're actually exploiting more people, doing it to get cheaper labour, and disadvantage Australian chef professionals.
Jennifer Byrne says workplace rights fact sheets should be given to all foreign workers.
A fact sheet itself isn't going to provide a cure for labour exploitation, but increasing the amount of information in the community about legal rights and responsibilities is critical.
But any reforms will come too late for Dung, whose visa's due to expire in October, forcing him to go home.
Michael Janda reporting.